What is up guys, Jarv here, back today on Planet Destiny. In today's video we're taking a look at all the Timelost weapons, how you can get your hands on them, the created roles, and also the god roles you should be seeking out. So if you want to find out everything you need to know about the Timelost weapons in the Vault of Glass, be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to leave a comment and rating down below, and remember to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. But without further delay guys, let's jump into the video. Now with the launch of Season of the Splicer, we saw the return of the Vault of Glass raid, a reprised raid from Destiny 1, and more recently we've seen the introduction of the Master variant of this activity. Most of the combatants inside this activity are 1350 in power, so I highly recommend a power level of at least 1341 before jumping into the Master version of the Vault of Glass. Pretty much everything inside this activity almost feels like a Grandmaster Nightfall, except inside a raid activity. All combatants are a lot tankier, and there are many more champions to contend with. Now if you're able to leave the Vault of Glass victorious, you'll be able to get your hands on some new Timelost weapons. These are similar to Adept weapons, except they have 2 perks in the 3rd and 4th column, whereas Adept weapons only have 1 additional perk in the 3rd column. And because of the amount of perks available on these weapons, it allows for a lot more weapon diversity and customization when it comes to the weapons that you choose to use. So much so that if you can get the right rolls, it can almost feel like you have 2 weapons in one. Now due to the perks in columns 3 and 4, it's a lot easier to get those god rolls that you're seeking out, and much like Adept weapons, you can also equip Adept mods, and if you have a few missing from your collection, you can earn these through Grandmaster Nightfalls or via Trials of Osiris. Now in total there are 6 Timelost weapons inside the Vault of Glass, with the majority unlocked by completing Master Vault of Glass challenges, and these rotate each and every week. Now the only Timelost weapon that isn't unlocked currently as part of a challenge is the Found Verdict, and this is unlocked by completing the Maestro Glass of Triumph. Now this triumph requires you to complete all the encounter challenges in the Master version of the Vault of Glass. And once you've unlocked the Found Verdict or any other Timelost weapons, you can buy additional rolls from the final chest after defeating Atheon. Now additional rolls will cost you 25 Spores of Conquest, and you can only buy Timelost weapons that you've already unlocked. Now if you are struggling for Spores of Conquest, you can either continuously rerun the Vault of Glass to earn additional spores from each and every encounter, or you can farm out the Templar encounter. It's a very quick and easy one to complete, and will easily allow you to max out your Spores of Conquest. So that's a quick look at what Timelost weapons are, but where do you get each one, and what sort of roles should you be looking for? Well, the challenge for week 1 is called Strangers in Time, and you can find this over at the Gatekeeper encounter. Now to complete this challenge, you need to kill the Wyverns and Praetorians within 5 seconds of each other. Now Stasis subclasses really come in clutch for this encounter, as slowing and freezing enemies buys you that extra amount of time to perfectly line up defeating the combatants. Now one of the most challenging parts of this challenge was in fact the final conflux in the centre of the glass throne. Not only do you have 3 Praetorians with shields which you need to use the relic to defeat, you also have barrier champions spawning in each corner. So during the fight you'll have to switch from overload mods to anti-barrier mods to ensure you have the right mods equipped to complete this fight. Now with the Timelost weapons, they do in fact have 2 curated perks. Now as for the Haze and Vengeance, which is the reward for completing the Gatekeeper encounter challenge, this will always roll with Overflow and Cluster Bomb. These are perfect perk combinations for Ad Clear, with the other 2 perks being entirely random. Now a few other great perk combinations you could look at getting on the Haze and Vengeance would be something like Auto-Loading Holster and Vorpal Weapon. This will take the Haze and Vengeance from being an amazing Ad Clear weapon to being an absolutely top tier DPS weapon, essentially giving you 2 weapons in one. Now the next weapon we're going to take a look at is the Corrective Measure. Now this should be available as part of the Atheon challenge. It's called Ensemble's Refrain. Now to complete this challenge, every teleported player has to destroy at least 1 oracle in each wave of oracles inside the portal. Now the Corrective Measure will always drop with Dynamic Sway Reduction and Firefly. Now these will help the Corrective Measure be one of the most stable machine guns inside Destiny 2, whilst having an absolutely lethal precision kill modifier. Now other very popular perk choices are things like Feeding Frenzy or Rewind Rounds in the 3rd column, and High Impact Reserves or All for One in the 4th column. Now machine guns will be getting a buff in Season 15, so if you can get a great roll on the Corrective Measure, this will set you up for success going into next season. Now the next Timelost weapon on our list is the Vision of Confluence, and this should be available as part of the Wait For It challenge. Now you can find this over at the Conflux encounter. Now to complete this, you need to wait and kill the Wyverns as they are sacrificing. It makes it a very high risk challenge, but one that has high rewards with a Timelost weapon being on offer. Now Now, as we can see here from the created role, we have Zen Moment and Full Auto Trigger System as the guaranteed perks that will drop on the Vision of Confluence. Now, these perks are very reminiscent of the Vision of Confluence from Destiny 1, but there are some brand new perks introduced on this weapon for Destiny 2. Naturally, Rewind Rounds makes a return and is a very popular choice on this weapon alongside Firefly, which is fantastic for ad clear, especially when you pair it with this season's seasonal artifact mod, Energy Accelerant. And much like the Corrective Measure, Scout Rifles will also be getting a buff in PvE inside Season 15. So it's a perfect opportunity to get a fantastic role, one that will stand the test of time when jumping into next season. Now, next up we have Pradiffs Revenge. Now, this should be available as part of the Only Oracle for You challenge found at the Oracle encounter inside the Vault of Glass. Now, to complete this though, Guardians can't destroy the same Oracle more than once, so you'll need to work very closely with your fire team and rotate around the arena to ensure you're defeating a unique Oracle through each and every phase. It's one of the trickier challenges on offer, but one that's well worth it when a Timelost weapon is up for grabs. Now, the created role on the Pradiffs Revenge is Feeding Frenzy and also Firefly, and as this is a rapid fire frame, it makes it fantastic for low tier ad clear. Now, other popular perk choices once again are things like Rewind Rounds, Quick Draw and High Impact Reserves also roll on this weapon, giving you excellent weapon diversity. But if you want a PvE and PvP role, then something like Quick Draw and Opening Shot are other great alternative perks. This will most definitely give you 2 weapons in one for all forms of activity. Now, the penultimate weapon in the video today is the Fatebringer Timelost version. The created role, thankfully, on the Fatebringer has explosive payload and Firefly, often sought after as the god role on this weapon. Now, the great thing about these being the created perks is once again it gives you great diversity in the other perk choices. Now, Rewind Rounds presents itself once again as a very popular perk, as does Frenzy. Now, Frenzy is a personal favourite of mine, as being in combat for an extended period of time simply increases the weapon's damage. It's a fantastic alternative to Firefly, especially if you're jumping into end game content. Now, much like the Corrective Measure and the Vision of Confluence, hand cannons will also be getting a buff inside PvE in Season 15. So if you've been getting frustrated with hand cannons taking too many rounds to defeat combatants inside any end game piece of PvE content, then that will change upon the launch of Season 15. So when the Fatebringer is available, guys, be sure to farm out this challenge and Spores of Conquest to get that absolute top tier role. And the final weapon today is the Found Verdict. Now, as we said earlier in the video, this weapon initially becomes available as part of the Maestro Glassed Triumph. You'll need to complete all the other encounter challenges in order to get your hands on this weapon. It will drop with Full Auto Trigger System and Vorpal weapon. Now, once again, you have a perfect opportunity here to have a god roll PvE and PvP weapon. It can roll with Slide Shot and Opening Shot, making it an absolutely deadly weapon inside the Crucible. So if you want the best of both worlds, then you can certainly seek out those 2 perks. Other great perk choices though are things like Autoloading Holster and Vorpal weapon if you're looking for that strong DPS shotgun. Statistically, Found Verdict is a very strong weapon with a very strong set of perks available to it. It will be one of the last Timelost weapons that we can obtain, but will likely rotate around through one of the challenges in later weeks. So there we have it, guys, a good look at all the Timelost weapons, how you can get them, and the sort of roles you should be seeking out once you can get your hands on them. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a comment and rating down below, and remember to subscribe for more Destiny 2 content. I'm going to jump back into the game as always, guys, and I will catch you all again very soon.